Gentlemen, let's get something straight. Intimacy is not something you take. It's not something you demand. It's something that arises when you cultivate the right conditions for it. And if you don't understand that if you think attraction and connection are simply about saying the right words or following some scripted formula, you're setting yourself up for failure. The first thing you need to recognize is that intimacy is not a game. It's not about manipulation. It's about who you are as a man. And so the first step isn't about asking for intimacy. It's about becoming the kind of man who naturally invites it. What does that mean? It means having your life together. It means being competent. It means being disciplined, having a direction, knowing what you're about. Because if you don't have that, then why would any woman feel safe enough physically, emotionally, and psychologically to open herself to you? You see, women are deeply attuned to who you are, not just what you say. They are biologically wired to seek out men who are stable, reliable, and strong men who can be trusted. And that trust isn't built with empty words or flashy gestures. It's built through your actions, your consistency, and your integrity. Now let's talk about psychology. Because a mistake men often make is assuming that women approach intimacy the same way men do. But that's simply not the case. For most men, attraction can be immediate and purely physical. But for a woman, intimacy is intertwined with emotional security. If she doesn't feel safe with you, if she doesn't trust you, she will not desire you. It's that simple. So if you're wondering why she isn't responding to your advances, ask yourself, have you created an environment where she feels genuinely valued? Have you built emotional closeness? Have you actually listened to her, engaged with her, made her feel like she is more than just a means to an end? And then there's this crucial point. You don't pressure a woman into intimacy, you invite it. You lead with presence, not desperation. If you constantly chase, constantly seek validation, constantly beg for affection, you will repel her. But if you carry yourself with confidence, if you make her want to be close to you through your actions, your demeanor, your authenticity, then intimacy will follow naturally. So when the moment comes, when you feel a connection and you want to take things further, how do you ask? You do it with honesty, with directness, and with respect. You don't manipulate, you don't guilt trip, and you don't act entitled. You communicate, you express what you feel, what you desire, and you allow her to respond on her terms. And if she says no, then you respect that. Because if you're truly the man you're striving to be, then you won't see rejection as a personal attack. You'll see it as information, as part of the process of understanding human relationships. At the end of the day, requesting intimacy from a woman is not about the request, it's about the man making the request. If you become the kind of man who is strong, competent, trustworthy, and confident, then intimacy will not be something you have to beg for. It will be something that emerges naturally because you will have earned it not through manipulation, not through tricks, but through being the kind of man she actually wants to be with. So take responsibility. Become better. And stop asking how to get something before you put in the work to deserve it. Before you even think about requesting intimacy from a woman, you must take a hard look at yourself. You have to ask, what kind of man am I? Because if you are not someone who commands respect, who exudes strength, who walks with purpose, then why on earth would she desire you? Women are not drawn to weakness. They are not attracted to aimlessness. They do not fall for men who have no control over their own lives. If you lack confidence, it shows in every step you take. If you are desperate, it seeps into your voice, into your body language, into your very presence. And women sense that. They don't just see you, they feel you. They read the subtleties of your character in ways that you cannot hide. You cannot fake being strong. You cannot pretend to be someone worth following. You either are or you are not. And strength is not just about muscles. It's not just about standing tall and looking good in a suit. No, strength is the mastery of your own mind. It's the ability to take control of your emotions instead of being a slave to them. It's having a spine, having discipline, having the kind of internal stability that makes a woman feel safe in your presence. If you crumble under pressure, if you complain about life, if you blame the world for your problems, you will never be truly desirable. A man who has no purpose is a man lost in the void. A man drifting through life, waiting for a woman to save him, is a man who will be left behind. Women do not rescue men from their own mediocrity. They do not lift men out of their own lack of ambition. They are not there to fix you, to mother you, to give you a reason to live. That is your job. That is your burden. That is your responsibility. You must be hungry. You must be building something. You must be so focused on becoming the best version of yourself that intimacy is not something you need. It's something that naturally arises because you have become deserving of it. If your life is a mess, if your finances are a disaster, if your body is weak, if your mind is clouded by fear and uncertainty, you are not a man who commands desire. You are a man who repels it. A woman does not want to carry your burdens. She does not want to hold you up because you cannot hold yourself up. She does not want to feel like she has to be your mother, your therapist, your emotional support system. She wants to be with a man who already stands tall, who already handles his own struggles, who already moves through the world with certainty and direction. Because when a woman is with a man like that, she feels safe. And safety is the foundation of attraction. You want to be desirable? Then earn it. Develop skills, build strength, cultivate intelligence. Have something going on in your life that is bigger than just seeking female validation. If a woman is the most important thing in your world, she will sense that and she will lose interest. Women do not want to be your mission. They want to join a man who already has a mission. Do you wake up with drive? Do you have goals that consume you? Do you push yourself every single day to be sharper, to be stronger, to be better than you were yesterday? Or do you drift through life, waiting for someone to give you permission to be great? Because no one is coming to save you. No one is going to hand you the respect, the attraction, the intimacy you seek. That is something you earn. That is something you become. Women test men not because they are cruel, but because they need to know if you are real. They will push your boundaries. They will challenge your confidence. They will see if you are easily shaken. And if you crumble, if you react with insecurity, if you lose your composure, you fail the test. And once a woman sees you as weak, it is nearly impossible to undo. Masculinity is about mastery. Mastery of your emotions, mastery of your purpose, mastery of your ability to stay centered even when the world throws chaos in your direction. If you are easily offended, easily rattled, easily thrown off course, you are not you and not you commands respect. You are still a boy waiting for the world to give him permission to stand tall. Fix your body, fix your mind, fix your habits. If you are out of shape, if you are sluggish, if you have no physical presence, why would a woman feel drawn to you? If you fill your brain with distractions, if you waste your time on nonsense, if you have nothing of value to offer in conversation, why would a woman be intrigued by you? If your habits are weak, if your discipline is non-existent, if you lack the ability to commit to anything meaningful, why would a woman trust you? The world does not owe you intimacy. No woman owes you her attraction, her time, or her body. She chooses to give it when she feels it. And she only feels it when she sees a man who is worth it. So if you find yourself struggling to gain the attention, the affection, the respect of the women you desire, look inward. The problem is not them. The problem is you. Become dangerous, not in the sense of being reckless or violent, but in the sense of being formidable. A man who is strong but controlled. A man who is capable but disciplined. A man who can destroy but chooses to build. That is the kind of man who is respected. That is the kind of man who turns heads when he enters a room. That is the kind of man women desire, not because he is trying to impress them, but because he is undeniable. Do you want to be attractive? Then earn the right to be. Build your body into something that exudes strength. Develop your mind into something sharp and insightful. Cultivate a life so full of meaning that any woman who joins you knows she is stepping into something powerful. A man who has purpose is intoxicating. A man who is needed by the world is infinitely more attractive than a man who needs a woman to feel complete. You cannot beg for intimacy. You cannot plead for it. You cannot manipulate your way into it. It comes when you have become the kind of man who naturally draws it toward him. And if you are not yet that man, then that is your work. That is your mission. That is what should keep you awake at night, not the frustration of why women don't see you the way you want them to. Level up in every aspect of your life. Walk into a room with confidence that is earned, not faked. Speak with conviction that comes from experience, not from desperation. Stand with the presence of a man who knows where he is going and will not be stopped. Because that is when intimacy is no longer something you have to request. It is something that naturally happens because you have become the kind of man who inspires. IT taught, if you do not understand how a woman thinks, you will never truly connect with her. You will misinterpret her signals, misunderstand her emotions, and ultimately repel her without even knowing why. You cannot approach intimacy like a simple transaction because for a woman, it is never just about the act. It is about the feeling. It is about trust, security, and an emotional connection that makes her want to give herself to you. If you do not grasp this, you will always be confused by why she doesn't respond the way you want. A woman's desire is not the same as a man's. Men are visually driven, biologically wired to see and want. But a woman needs more. She needs to feel something deep within her. And that feeling is not automatic. It is built over time through presence, through understanding, through a sense of being truly seen. If she does not feel emotionally safe with you, she will not allow herself to open up physically. If she does not trust you, she will hold back. Women are biologically programmed to be selective. This is not a choice. It is an instinct and evolutionary necessity. They do not simply give themselves to any man who asks, because that would be dangerous. Their bodies, their emotions, their very nature is designed to test, to filter, to ensure that only the strongest, most stable, most worthy men are given access. This is not cruelty. This is survival. Every word you speak, every action you take, every way you carry yourself is being read. Not on a surface level, but on a deeply subconscious, biological level. Women are highly attuned to microsignals, your tone, your posture, your facial expressions, your level of certainty in your own words. If you speak with hesitation, she feels it. If you carry insecurity, she senses it. You cannot lie to her instincts. A woman's attraction is not logical, it is felt. You cannot argue your way into intimacy. You cannot debate her into desiring you. You cannot convince her with words alone. You must make her feel something in your presence. And if you don't understand that, you will fail before you even begin. She is not drawn to men who seek validation. She is not aroused by desperation. She is not pulled toward weakness. She craves presence. A man who is grounded, a man who is certain, a man who does not need her, but who chooses her. She must feel like she is stepping into something strong, not something unstable. Women respond to leadership, but not to control. They want to feel like they are being guided, not forced. If you try to dominate without understanding, if you attempt to push without building trust, she will resist. She does not want to be taken, she wants to be drawn in, naturally, willingly, irresistibly. That only happens when she feels something real in your presence. Intimacy is a response to security. If a woman does not feel safe with you emotionally, mentally, physically, she will reject you. She may not even know why. She may just feel off around you. And that feeling is enough to make her pull away. Because a woman's body and mind are wired to protect her from the wrong men. If you trigger her alarms, you are done. This is why so many men fail. They do not listen. They do not see her. They are too caught up in their own wants, their own needs, their own desires to even notice what she is feeling. They think intimacy is about them when in reality, it is about her experience. It is about what she feels when she is around you. Not what you say, not what you do, but how she feels in your presence. If a woman feels safe, if she feels understood, if she feels like she can relax around you, intimacy becomes effortless. But if she feels pressured, if she feels like you are trying to get something from her, if she senses even the slightest hint of desperation, she will shut down. Because a woman does not give intimacy to a man she does not trust. She surrenders to a man who makes her feel completely secure. Women do not fear being alone as much as they fear being with the wrong man. And if you don't understand that, you will never understand attraction. A woman's deepest fear is being with a man who cannot protect her, who cannot lead, who cannot provide emotional stability. She would rather stay alone than be with a man who drains her energy instead of strengthening it. You cannot fake emotional intelligence. You cannot trick a woman into trusting you. Trust is earned. And it is earned through consistency, through how you handle yourself, through how you react when she tests you, because she will test you. She will push your buttons. She will challenge you, not because she wants to break you, but because she needs to see if you can handle it. Women do not open up to men who crumble under pressure. They do not surrender to men who fold the moment they are questioned. They do not respect men who cannot hold their ground. If you lack inner strength, she will not feel drawn to you. If you react emotionally, if you become defensive, if you fall apart when things don't go your way, she will see you as weak. A woman must feel safe in every way. Safe to express herself. Safe to be vulnerable. Safe to know that if she lets go, you will not betray that trust. If she senses that you are reckless, if she sees that you are unstable, if she notices even a hint of manipulation, she will withdraw. And once a woman pulls away, it is nearly impossible to bring her back. She must feel like you see her, not just as an object, not just as a conquest, but as a person. If she feels like she is just another option, just another body, just another number to you, she will resist. She must feel chosen, not chased, not begged for, but chosen because she has earned your attention, just as you have earned hers. The moment a woman feels like you are trying too hard, she will lose interest. Because trying too hard signals that you are not the prize, that you are seeking her approval instead of standing strong in your own value. Women do not chase men who are desperate to be chased. They are drawn to men who are solid in who they are, with or without her. If you do not understand that intimacy begins in the mind, you will forever be confused by women. You will think it is about words, about actions, about techniques, when in reality it is about emotion. It is about how she feels when she is with you. And if she does not feel safe, if she does not feel deeply understood, if she does not feel drawn in by your presence, then nothing you say or do will change that. Understanding a woman is not about manipulation. It is about mastery of yourself, mastery of your presence, mastery of the ability to make her feel something real. If you cannot do that, you will always struggle. If you can, intimacy will not be something you request, it will be something she naturally offers. You do not demand intimacy. You do not chase it. You do not beg for it. You create the conditions where it naturally unfolds. A woman does not respond to pressure, she responds to presence. She is not drawn to force, she is drawn to confidence. She does not surrender to desperation, she surrenders to a man who makes her want to come closer. The moment you push, you lose. The moment you try to convince, you weaken your position. The moment you seek validation, you become unattractive. Because intimacy is not given to those who plead, it is given to those who earn it through strength, through certainty, through the kind of masculine presence that a woman cannot resist. You cannot trick a woman into wanting you. You cannot guilt her into it. You cannot force her heart to open. Intimacy is not a transaction. It is not something you bargain for. It is something that emerges when she feels you, when she trusts you, when she knows deep in her bones that being close to you is not just safe, it is inevitable. A woman must feel drawn in, not pulled in. She must feel magnetized by your presence, not pressured by your neediness. The second she senses that you are trying too hard, that you are overcompensating, that you are asking for something she is not yet ready to give, she will shut down. Not because she does not desire intimacy, but because she does not feel it yet. And if she does not feel it, no amount of pushing will change that. You cannot make a woman want you by trying harder. You cannot increase attraction by explaining yourself. You cannot get closer to her by attempting to convince her. She does not want a salesman, she wants a man who stands in his own value. A man who does not chase but attracts. A man who does not beg but embodies the kind of presence that naturally makes her want to be close. A woman decides to be intimate when she feels safe in your energy, when she feels like she can trust you with her emotions, with her vulnerability, with her very being. If you rush that, you break it. If you pressure her, you kill the attraction. If you try to control the process, you make her feel like she's losing her own agency. And nothing repels a woman faster than feeling like she is being backed into a corner. You must lead, not demand, guide, not force, invite, not pressure. Because a woman's nature is to respond, not to be commanded. She must want to follow your lead, not feel like she is being pushed into something before she is ready. A man who truly understands women knows that his role is not to take it, is to create an environment where she wants to give. A woman does not desire a man who is desperate. She does not respect a man who seeks approval. She does not crave a man who puts her on a pedestal and asks for permission to be close. She desires a man who is so deeply secure in himself that intimacy becomes a natural expression of that security. Not something he asks for, but something she offers freely. You cannot beg for attraction. You cannot force chemistry. You cannot turn indifference into desire. The more you push, the further she retreats. The more you ask, the more she feels obligated rather than inspired. And when a woman feels obligation instead of inspiration, her attraction fades. Because true intimacy is chosen, not forced. Women are attuned to energy. They feel when you are confident. They sense when you are at ease. They know when you are secure in yourself. And they also know when you are seeking something from them that you do not yet deserve. If you are looking for intimacy to fill a void, she will feel that. If you are seeking closeness to validate your worth, she will know. And once she sees that you need her to feel complete, she will pull away. You must become whole first. You must be complete before you seek intimacy. You must be so fulfilled in your own life, so certain in your own value, that intimacy is not something you are trying to get it. It's something that naturally happens because you are the kind of man who inspires it. A man who has presence. A man who has purpose. A man who moves through the world with the kind of confidence that makes a woman feel safe. Because that is what it comes down to: safety. Not just physical safety, but emotional safety. A woman must feel that being with you is a place of stability, of trust, of certainty. And if she does not feel that, she will not open up. If she senses insecurity, if she detects emotional instability, if she sees that you are not yet solid in yourself, she will not surrender to you. You do not need to chase intimacy. You do not need to plead for it. You do not need to make it happen before it is meant to. You simply need to become the man who naturally invites it. A man who does not grasp, who does not demand, who does not seek approval, but who walks with a quiet confidence that tells a woman, without words, that she is safe in his presence. Intimacy is not just physical, it is emotional. It is psychological. It is the moment when a woman chooses to be vulnerable, to be open, to be close to you because she trusts you. And that trust is never built through pressure. It is never created through convincing. It is earned through your presence, your certainty, your ability to lead without needing to control. If a woman feels pressured, she will resist. If she feels chased, she will retreat. If she feels like you are asking for something that has not yet been deserved, she will reject you, not because she does not desire intimacy, but because she does not yet feel it. And a woman cannot force herself to feel what is not yet there. No amount of logic, no amount of persuasion, no amount of effort will change that. What changes that is you, who you are, how you carry yourself, how you make her feel when she is around you. If you are centered, if you are stable, if you are so deeply comfortable in your own skin that you do not need intimacy, but simply allow it to unfold, then it will come to you. Not as something you seek, but as something you deserve. A woman's desire is not a switch that can be flipped. It is a flame that must be nurtured. It must feel natural. It must feel right. And when it does, it is effortless. It is powerful. It is something she wants to give rather than something you are trying to take, because true intimacy is never taken. It is surrendered. And a woman only surrenders to a man who makes her feel completely, unquestionably safe. A woman will not be intimate with a man she does not respect. She will not open up to someone she sees as weak, uncertain, or emotionally unstable. If you want a woman to trust you with her body, she must first trust you with her mind. If you do not command respect, if you do not stand firm in your own value, if you do not embody strength in your words and actions, she will hesitate. Because no woman desires to give herself to a man who cannot handle her. Respect is not demanded, it is earned. It is built in the way you move, the way you speak, the way you hold yourself in the face of challenges. A woman does not respect a man who crumbles under pressure. She does not admire a man who seeks her validation. She does not long for a man who makes her feel like he is lucky to be in her presence rather than the other way around. If she does not respect you, she will never truly desire you. She watches everything. She notices how you react when things go wrong. She observes how you handle conflict. She sees how you treat others, how you carry yourself, how you navigate life. If you are easily shaken, if you seek approval, if you are unable to lead, she will test you. Not because she wants to break you, but because she must know if you are strong enough. And if you fail that test, her attraction will disappear like smoke in the wind. A woman's intimacy is not given to just any man. It is reserved for the rare few who command it. Not through force, not through manipulation, but through sheer presence. Through the kind of deep, unshakable confidence that makes her want to be close to you. A woman must feel that you are a rock, that you are unmoved by chaos, that you are the kind of man who can handle not only your own emotions, but hers as well. If she does not see that in you, she will withdraw. She needs to know that you will not break when she tests you, that you will not crumble when she challenges you, that you will not seek her approval like a boy instead of standing firm like a man. She respects a man who is grounded, a man who does not react emotionally to every little thing, a man who is steady, composed, and unshaken no matter what is thrown at him. The moment she sees weakness, she feels it in her gut. And a woman does not surrender to weakness. Do not confuse respect with fear. Do not think that being dominant means being controlling. A woman does not respect a tyrant. She respects a man who chooses to be in control of himself. A man who is disciplined. A man who does not need to control others because he has already mastered his own mind, his own emotions, his own destiny. When a woman sees that level of mastery, she cannot help but be drawn in. Respect is built in your standards. A man without standards is a man without self-respect. And a man without self-respect will never earn the respect of a woman. If you tolerate disrespect, if you allow yourself to be walked over, if you betray your own principles just to please her, she will lose all attraction for you. She may not say it, she may not even consciously realize it, but she will feel it. And that feeling will kill any desire she once had. A woman wants to know that you are a man who cannot be swayed by her emotions. That you will not lose your composure when she is at her worst. That when she tests your patience, when she challenges your authority, when she pushes against your boundaries, you will not collapse. She wants to feel that she is with a man who is worthy of her surrender. A man who does not need her, but who chooses her. And the only kind of man who can do that is one who deeply respects himself first. She will test you over and over, not because she wants to push you away, but because she must know that you are real, that you are strong, that you are not pretending to be confident, but that you are confident. She must know that the man she is giving herself to is not fragile, that he will not be broken by her emotions, that he will not fold when things get difficult, that he will not become weak just to please her. Because a man who sacrifices his strength for validation is a man who loses her respect. The moment you try to prove yourself, you have already lost. The moment you seek her approval, you've weakened your position. The moment you start prioritizing her opinion of you over your own opinion of yourself, you have given away your power. She must see that you know your worth, that you own your space, that you are not seeking her validation because you already validate yourself. A woman will not be intimate with a man she sees as beneath her. She will not open up to someone she views as weak. She may enjoy attention, she may like the idea of being desired, but she will never truly give herself to a man she does not admire. Attraction without respect is temporary. Intimacy without admiration is forced. And if a woman feels forced, she will never surrender fully. You must demand respect not with words, but with presence, with the way you walk, with the way you handle yourself in every situation, with the way you refuse to lower your standards just to win her favor. A woman does not desire a man who bends to her every whim. She desires a man who is his own master, a man who does not waver, a man who stands tall no matter how much pressure she applies. She respects a man who does not over-explain himself, who does not seek permission to be who he is, who does not apologize for his standards, for his values, for his masculinity. A woman must feel that she is in the presence of a man who knows exactly who he is, exactly what he stands for, and exactly what he expects. And that knowing, that certainty, that unshakable sense of self, that is what earns her respect. The moment she senses that you are unsure of yourself, she doubts you. The moment she realizes that you fear losing her, she loses interest. The moment she feels that you are trying to win her approval rather than living in a way that demands her admiration, she pulls away. Because no woman is drawn to a man who places her above himself. No woman surrenders to a man who does not even respect his own boundaries. A woman is drawn to power, not the kind that controls, but the kind that commands. The kind that makes her feel deep in her bones that this is a man who cannot be broken. That this is a man she can trust with her surrender. That this is a man whose respect she must earn just as he has earned hers. And when a woman feels that, truly feels it, she does not hesitate. She does not question. She does not resist. She chooses intimacy freely, completely, and without reservation. Because she knows, without a doubt, that she is in the presence of a man who deserves Intimacy is not something you take. It is not something you ask for. It is not something you convince a woman to give you. It is something she chooses to offer when she feels undeniably drawn to you. And that choice is not based on words, not on persuasion, not on pleading. It is based on who you are. A woman does not surrender to uncertainty. She does not open up to desperation. She does not crave weakness. She craves a man who leads, who commands respect, who embodies the kind of presence that makes intimacy feel like an inevitability, not a negotiation. She desires a man who does not need her validation, who does not seek approval, who does not chase what should naturally come to him. If you want intimacy, become the kind of man who inspires it, a man whose presence creates safety, a man whose strength invites trust, a man who is so deeply rooted in himself that a woman feels no hesitation in stepping closer, in opening up, in choosing to surrender. You do not need to beg for what you deserve. You do not need to force what should flow naturally. You do not need to convince a woman to want you. You need to become undeniable. You need to embody the qualities that make her feel drawn to you without resistance. You need to stand so firmly in your own power that she does not hesitate because she feels it deep in her bones that you are a man who is worthy of her trust, her admiration, and her intimacy. And when you are that man, she will not just give herself to you, she will want to, completely, freely, without question.